Okay.
James,
Yes.
do you ever get the feeling that the universe doesn't want us doing this sort of thing anymore?
Sometimes I do, yes. For those who weren't here for the last 20 minutes, this is attempt number 3 at recording this episode. Attempt number 1, Nick's computer did something weird. Attempt number 2, I can't say anything else. I just forgot to press the button, or I didn't press it hard enough, or whatever. Either way, I got 10 minutes into quite an amusing introduction, and then I looked over, and I just wasn't recording.
We are consummate professionals.
5 years, folks. 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, and, somebody forgets to press a button.
Press the on button.
And, yeah, also, I'll just mention that this sort of all-singing, all-dancing computer, which can run many games at full graphics, just decided to shit the bed for a little bit. And
I mean, your computer's not all singing, all dancing, to be fair, Nick. It's running, I believe, Windows 7.
I know, but, compared to the last computer I had...
Windows 7 discontinued in 6 years ago.
Yeah, this is it. But it is a little bit like going from a Morris Minor to, say, I don't know, some sort of 2015 Hyundai, I guess.
So Nick is running my old computer.
Yes.
I can tell this story. I bought my first gaming computer in 2013. Maybe 2012. A while ago. And over time, it has gradually... It's Ship of Theseus itself, and now I have an entirely new computer at my desk.
Yes.
And when Nick's computer gave up, I said, you know what? I'll just put all my old parts together and build you a new computer.
Yeah.
New air quotes. Because it's all the old parts.
Yeah, this is it. But it works well enough for what I want to do with it, and you got your brakes fixed in exchange for that. So,
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Nick has helped me with multiple car things in exchange, so thanks for that.
This is it. It's a shining example of the barter economy.
It's a good system.
It is.
I did think of something earlier I wanted to barter with you, but I can't remember now.
Wasn't it servicing your car?
It might be future oil changes, yeah. I was going to come up in exchange. I was going to help you with the garden, that was it. That was going to be my offer.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing with the garden other than...
Exactly.
Yeah, other than dumping weed killer on it once a month.
Exactly.
So...
I'll help you. I'll sort that out for you next time. And in exchange, you can get my car ready for the MOT next year.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Although, to be fair, I always find it's worth sort of firing it into the MOT station, seeing what it fails on, and then making decisions on the work you're going to do from there.
That's fair. We'll see what state it's in next year.
Yeah, fair enough.
Either way, I've got new leverage I can barter with.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was utterly horrified when I came down and serviced your car.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just over 1 litre of very black, very treacly oil in the bottom of the sump.
Of horrible goop.
Yeah, this is it.
I think we talked about it last time.
I think we did, yes.
Anyway, we had a really good segue before I realised I stopped recording. Also, Grace is still not here, for those who haven't noticed. She is still away on a trip. She'll be back with us soon. Last time we talked about Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, we did.
Or we went into the wiki and tried to work out what's going on.
Spoiler alert, we didn't.
Spoiler alert, we didn't. Kingdom Hearts is not the only completely incomprehensible game series that we can look into.
Okay.
And I'm doing this almost as a treat for you, Nick, because it is your birthday coming up.
Yes, it is. Yeah, next week.
And it's fair to say that you like your military hardware. You like your... I want to call it wanky military stuff, especially Cold War era stuff.
Yes.
How much do you know about Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear Solid, I know that it exists. And one of the characters is called Snake, I think.
So that is not entirely correct.
Right, okay.
One, you know it exists. There are multiple characters called Snake.
I see.
I should say, I sound like I'm coming off as an expert there. I'm not. The only one I've played is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is a spin-off made by an entirely different studio, and a little bit of Metal Gear 5. It didn't click with me because I didn't understand it.
Was the gameplay fun? Like,
It was alright, yeah.
I can't remember what the gameplay is, really.
So the gameplay in Metal Gear 5, the only mainline one I've played, it's sort of open world stealth. Like, you're dropped into a big map, you've got some objectives, you get dropped in, sometimes with a horse, and you got to go do them.
Oh, right, okay, so
The only map I really did was Afghanistan, and there was like a military hospital in Cuba.
Okay.
And played the prologue game as well, which there's one map and it's Guantanamo Bay.
I see.
And you've got to go rescue people from that.
Right, fair enough.
Revengeance was action slashing. You're a cyborg and everyone else is a cyborg, and there's a really cool soundtrack, and it's by the same people as Bayonetta and Nier.
It would kind of have to be with a name like Revengeance.
It's completely bonkers. I love Revengeance. In the opening demo mission, you slice a giant robot in half, and that's the tutorial. Have you seen that bit? I'm just gonna show you a little bit of background. There's this bit. It's hang on. I should have prepared this for you. Here we go. From the very opening of the game. I'll put it in Discord.
Okay. Here we go.
Go. All yours.
Rules of nature.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch this myself.
Alright, so giant robots and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big laser.
It's firing a laser. It keeps going. So he blocks the blade, he grabs the blade,
and twirls the big
judo throws the giant robot.
Yeah.
He runs along the blade after throwing it.
And slices
it in half.
Excellent. But he doesn't
This is the first level.
He doesn't just slice it in half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it goes into lots of other bits. Like, okay, so we can say it appeals to your inner 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. So that's the first boss. Would you like to take a guess what the final boss of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is?
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on.
You might know this already.
Yeah, I think I do. I think this is the other things I know about the Metal Gear series.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a U.S. senator?
It is a U.S. senator.
Yeah, just like a really hench one.
Buff man in a suit,
Yeah.
Senator Armstrong. Yeah, you punch him a lot and it doesn't do anything because he's full of nanomachines.
This feels like it's backwards.
Hmm?
It feels like it's backwards. It feels like you should maybe start with the U.S.
No.
senator and work up to the giant robot thing.
Nah, this is great. I enjoy the progression of Revengeance, I won't lie.
Fair enough. I guess it's because it is so sort of turns the usual sort of boss battle system on its head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Devil May Cry series is a little bit similar. Like, big monsters are easier to fight because you can see their attacks coming.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, a dude who's your size, it can be more intense because they move faster and you've got to watch a bit more closely.
Okay, fair enough.
So it makes sense in a way.
Yeah.
I'm on the wiki right now, by the way.
Ah, yes, I should probably load that up.
There are 4 characters called Snake.
Okay, let's have a look. I'm guessing they're the main character, though.
So there's Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, Solidus Snake, and Venom Snake.
Solidus Snake.
Solidus Snake.
Okay, let's have a
I
look.
do not know.
Yeah, Solid Snake, Venom Snake, Solidus Snake, and Liquid. They look... At least 3 of them look similar.
They are, in fact, clones.
Right, okay. That makes a little bit of sense.
They are clones of a man known as Big Boss.
Big Boss.
Who's, according to the wiki, his real name is John.
So they're not going out there with the ridiculous names, then?
Yeah. Weirdly, also known as Jack,
Okay.
according to biological information, but also known as Naked Snake, Vic Boss, Ishmael, the legendary soldier, the legendary mercenary, Saladin, and the man who sold the world.
Oh, a bit of Bowie in there.
There is a Bowie intro in the one I played.
Oh, right, okay. With that particular song?
Yes.
Right, I see.
Trying to think where to go from here. I mean, I can tell you the bit I know, that Big Boss's mum, the boss, essentially invented close quarters combat according to the law.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, is she the one who gave birth on the battlefield?
Yes.
Yeah, that's another thing I remember about the Metal Gear series.
Not just any battlefield, incidentally.
Okay.
It was, in fact, Normandy Beach.
Right, I see. So
During the D-Day invasion.
During the D-Day invasion, she gave birth to Big Boss.
Yeah. She was heavily pregnant at the time, but she was too valuable to the war effort to not have her there. So they decided to send a 9-month pregnant woman to the D-Day landings, where she kicked ass, took names, and eventually gave birth to John, who is now Big Boss.
I see.
Who in turn was cloned to make Solid Snake.
Is this kind of like a super soldier program?
No, they're just really good.
Right, okay.
As far as I'm aware.
So,
I think they're just very talented dudes.
So it's not like they took somebody who had like all the attributes of being like a really, really good soldier and sort of cloned him in order to...
I think he was cloned because he was a good soldier. He wasn't genetically enhanced or anything like that to be a super soldier.
Oh, right, okay. So, yeah, the 4 snakes are just basically...
They just cloned him because he was good at his job.
Yeah, and they wanted other people who were equally good at the job.
Yeah.
I'm
on Solid Snake's wiki page. I should mention, he is named after Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
No, seriously?
Well, Snake's real name is Iroquois Plissken.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he is one big nod to Escape from New York.
Right, I see.
He's also got an IQ of 180 and is fluent in 6 languages.
Yeah, here we go. The man who makes the impossible possible.
Mm-hmm. Which sounds like terrible corporate stuff that you'd see on a job application.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Remind me to tell you about the motto that was forced on us by my little piece of corporate hell when we finish this recording.
Will do.
But yeah. Okay, so repeatedly... Okay, right. I have a question.
What's up?
The title Metal Gear. Is it just...
A Metal Gear is a giant robot.
Right, okay, so a Metal Gear is actually a thing. It's not just a...
You know what? Let's open with finding out what is a Metal Gear,
yeah, what
is
Metal Gear?
A miserable little part... I know. No, I'll stop doing that.
Metal Beer. Here we go.
Metal Gear.
Designation given to various models of bipedal tanks. Okay, so yeah, the mechs, effectively.
Tanks on legs.
Nuclear capable, firing warheads from their railgun, eliminating the need for a missile or launch pad, allowing them to attack targets from anywhere in the world on any kind of terrain.
Yes.
I mean, surely ICBMs are more practical.
But what about an ICBM you can launch from anywhere?
This is true, but as long as it's within range, you don't really need to launch an ICBM from anywhere, because they can get to
And you
anywhere.
don't necessarily need it to be on legs.
It's rule of cool, I'm going to say.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an excuse to have a giant robot.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
Invented by Alexandra Leonovich Granin, or the hero of socialism.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, designed by. He died in 1904.
Wow, right, okay.
Wait, no, sorry, no, born 1904. Sorry, it gave 2 dates, and I was like, okay, born, died. And then I did the maths and realised that's 9 years apart.
So he invented them when he was 9 years old and then
So
died.
he was born in either 1895 or 1904, died in 1964
Right.
in Selenorsk, Russian place.
Hang on a minute. Chelyabinsk, I think. Maybe.
Ah, thank you.
But anyway.
That place. And then he built the Metal Gear.
So, of course, the cool weapon was a Soviet design.
Damn right.
Believed would provide the missing link between infantry and artillery. Just
What?
right. Okay. I need
Hang
to...
on, no. That's cavalry.
Yes, it is. It is. The sort of missing link between infantry and artillery is cavalry, otherwise known in the modern age as, like, just fucking tanks. That's what a tank is.
Surely the horse.
But, well, yeah, like, the horses are what the tanks replaced.
So there is no missing link as far as I'm concerned. There's infantry, man on legs,
Yep.
horse, vehicle.
Yeah.
That's the... Why is... Yeah.
Actually, I should maybe explain, like, artillery is gun emplacements.
Yes.
The guns maybe have wheels, but you can't fire them when they're moving. You've got to, like, stop and set it up and fire on something and then, yeah, take it down again and move.
So there is also the intercontinental ballistic metal gear.
Is that an ICBM that just walks?
I think it launches, and then it lands, and it goes on legs.
Right, I see.
Mobile nuclear missile launch platform that could fly in a ballistic... So infiltrate any country in the world, and then deliver a multi-warhead payload.
That surely just adds an unnecessary extra step.
Yeah, so you fire this missile, it lands in enemy territory, it has a wander about for a bit, then it fires.
And then fires a weapon at whatever it wants to fire the weapon at.
Yep.
This is a little bit ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny ridiculous. I'm on board with it. It does just seem like it was written by an 8-year-old, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Reminder. Hang on. Okay, I'm just going to do something. I'm just going to leave the call very briefly.
Okay.
So, it's at this point that I remembered that there are ghosts in Metal Gear. I'm not telling Nick this. We're going to wait for him to find out that himself. Okay. Back to the call. Okay. Cool. Let's keep going.
What were you saying to yourself?
Nothing.
Why?
I remembered something really funny, and I want you to find out for yourself.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
So, I'll tell you, if we don't find out by the end, I will tell you directly.
Yeah, this is fair enough. So just sort of reading about this, it was later used in an attempt to make a nuclear strike against America by Gene, acting against Pentagon orders to yada yada yada, but was ultimately destroyed by Snake and his resistance movement. Right. So this feels to me a bit like the bit where James Bond is tied up in the chair, and instead of killing him outright, the villain explains his entire plan to him in great detail, and then throws the machine to kill James Bond.
Finish the job.
The painfully slow machine that creeps towards him at a snail's pace instead of just using a gun to the forehead.
God, we're getting a lot of Austin Powers in today, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, actually, we're not, because you didn't end up telling that story.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's true. Oh, well.
Okay.
As an aside, the one in Revengeance is a Metal Gear Ray.
Okay.
And is the most advanced one as of 2007.
I'm guessing that's like a sort of laser beam of light kind of weapon.
It's RAY. I don't know if that's like a laser thing.
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah, like Death Ray.
It could be. No, I think you're right. Metal Gear Ray does not have any nuclear launch capabilities. It's intended to be unmanned. It did have a laser in that one.
Yeah, like in the tutorial.
What I'm learning is it was the final boss in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Right, okay.
And then it was just kind of put in as a tutorial boss in Revengeance, just to show, like, yeah, well, Raiden's so badass, you get to kill the final boss in the first round.
I see.
And then he did.
Oh, good grief. Here we go, yeah. Redesigned version of Metal Gear Ray Unmanned Gear. Rigid armor over CNT muscle fiber. Okay. Right, the original... I want to know what Ray stands for.
I'm not sure it does.
Yeah, I'm thinking it maybe doesn't. Yeah, because here we go. Metal Gear Rex, which is another one. That's the nuclear one. God, there's lots
Shortly
of them.
after, Emmerich's worm cluster. What the fuck's a worm cluster?
Oh, good grief. We're here again, are we? not knowing
Emma
anything that we're
Emmerich's
doing.
worm cluster was a program made of several computer worms, each one designed to target a specific part of GW's AI system.
So they're using...
They've got beef with Games Workshop, is what I'm learning.
Yes, I see. Oh, here we go. There's a Harrier in this.
Oh, no. Okay, before you click on anything, any guesses what GW is?
GW... Oh, hang on. Great Western?
No. The worm cluster was programmed to mimic the data packets that comprise GW. Because of this, GW scanning agents would be unable to detect the program. The worm program could also penetrate GW's bit-brain barrier until it reached its neural network.
Is this a supercomputer that I'm going to know the name of when you say it?
It is a supercomputer. Its name is George Washington.
George Washington, the supercomputer.
Was an optic neural AI designed to maintain the Patriot system of control over the United States. Named after the first US President, George Washington, the AI was programmed to censor all forms of digital information.
Oh, God, okay.
It could also control all weaponry, nuclear and conventional, of the 4 branches of the US military through a tactical computer network. As of 2009, George Washington was said to be the only system in the world with parallel processing capacity of 980 twillion. 980 trillion hammets. What is a hammet?
980 twillion hammets. Ooh.
Ooh, indeed.
What is a hammet?
Let me just Google what a hammet is.
Yeah, let's have a look at what a hammet is. I'm just going to have a drink of this Pepsi.
Is that a real... It comes up with Hammet's Gastrobar.
Oh, where's
Hammet's. Digital, Slamena.
Okay, I see.
I don't think Hammet is a real thing.
I will say, while you're looking that up, I just had a look at the screenshot of the GW server room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of having... this game is like Rule of Cool, isn't it? It is solely Rule of Cool. Like, I don't know how that would be a practical design for a server room, really.
Yeah, but it looks like a graveyard.
Yeah, for your benefit, dear listener, there's like 2 or 3 screens in a central pillar, which kind of remind me of the sort of robots that you see in the Old World Blues DLC in the Big Empty. They're surrounded by, I would say, sort of 50 to 60 tombstone shaped structures with glowing like light bars in the middle of them, all arranged in neat little rows, which I presume are the servers.
It looks that way.
Yeah. It's very Hackerman.
It's absolutely Hackerman. Let's find out who the Patriots are.
Yeah, okay.
I'm vaguely confident it's the Illuminati.
Of course it is.
The Patriots, also known as La Li Lu Le Lo, and formerly Cypher, were a secret organization that by the early 90s had complete control over the United States of America and its people.
Right. Okay, so by the looks of things, the president is just a shadow president, and it's... yeah.
Exactly. The real heads are the Patriots.
Yes.
And their supercomputer, George Washington.
So much of the former power to the point where they eventually had control of the entirety of the United States government, the US economy, and the scientific community. Okay. This seems... yeah.
It's only further bonkers from here.
Yeah, it feels like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there was a CIA Special Forces unit known as Fox.
Yes.
Not Fox News, thankfully.
I'm vaguely aware of Fox, because the villains, at least early on in the 5th game, are called Zoff, which is Fox backwards.
Never saw
and
that
they're the
coming.
evil version.
The evil version of Fox, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so... I suppose that we should ask, like, what happens in, like, at least the first Metal Gear game.
Great question.
Let's have a look. What is the first Metal Gear game called? In fact, what are any of the games called?
Well, the first one's... I don't know.
Okay, so I think the first one is Metal Gear Solid.
I'd have thought so.
Yeah, is there a timeline?
I know it jumps around.
Right, okay, I'm going to move away from the wiki briefly. Let's have a look. So, Metal Gear...
Yeah, I'm
games.
surely Wikipedia has enough distance to...
Yeah, let's have a look. Here we go. So, franchise of... Let's see.
Oh, hold on.
Games, right, timelines. Okay, so we have Metal Gear,
Mm-hmm.
then Snake's Revenge, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid
God, there's
VR
so
missions, Metal Gear Ghost Babel, and Metal Gear Solid Triangle Snake Eater.
Of course,
Delta. It's Delta. It's a
they,
Delta. Sorry.
they couldn't let Kingdom Hearts have all the fun with the bizarre titles.
Yeah, exactly. This is. I mean, they're nearly all Metal Gear Solid, but some some of them
Hold
have
on.
like tagged on to the end of it. They have titles which go quite hard.
So the one I found, it looks as if it's in chronological order.
Hmm.
Okay. All the cyborg ninja stuff in Metal Gear Revengeance. That was set in the grim, dark cyberpunk future of 2018.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I mean, how long ago was Revengeance?
it was made in 2009. They were so optimistic. They really thought we'd be having like kung fu robots with nanomachines in 2018.
I'm always.
We're not even close.
No, absolutely not. Like the only AI that we've got is being used to diddle artists out
Awful.
of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, diddle artists out of work and make lonely people feel even lonelier.
Oh god, yeah. The whole AI girlfriend thing is weird.
Yeah, it's odd and strange and yes.
Hell, and the whole thing with the George Washington supercomputer that controls everything, that's meant to be like the mid 2000s, I think.
Like sci-fi back in the day had such high hopes for us.
Oh man. If only they knew.
Yeah, whether it was video games or TV shows or books or whatever, as long as it wasn't dystopian. Yeah, they had such high hopes for the technology of the age and what it would be used for.
Yeah, we sure let them down, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Oh well. The one fandom we didn't let down though, Star Trek.
Didn't we?
Because at this point in the Star Trek timeline, we are supposed to be already wiped out by nuclear war.
Okay, so we're doing better than the Star Trek.
We're currently doing
timeline.
better on the Star Trek. We were supposed to have a eugenics war by the mid-90s.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So...
And that didn't happen. So we're doing better than what Gene Roddenberry thought, at least for the next 40 years.
Yeah, fair enough.
If we don't make contact with the Vulcans by the 60s, though, it's going to be a problem.
Well, yeah, I can imagine it would. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Metal Gear.
Okay, so let's have a look. So hang on, that's the hacky slashy one. I'm just going to pick Metal Gear Solid.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to look at the page for the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay.
Because the Metal Gear wiki has a page for the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I'm curious what actually happened in their universe.
Right. In that case, do you know what? I'm going to do... Hang on a minute. No, I don't want to be redirected to Premier Inn. I've already done that bit. Right, hang on. Right. So, Cuban Missile Crisis.
Hold on. One of the influential figures in the Cuban Missile Crisis, he was a disgraced former director of the CIA, and I shit you not, his name is Hot Coldman.
Hot Coldman?
Hot Coldman.
Where?
He was the CIA station chief of Central America during the 70s, who headed the development of the Peace Walker project.
Is this... I wonder if this is like a divergence from what actually happened, or... Yeah,
I don't think Hot Coldman is a real person.
Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah, I'm confident that that's not a real name.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Peace Walker incident. Series of military skirmishes. Central America. Right, interesting. Let's get back to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Here we go. So the Cuban Missile Crisis was a real-life event. Yeah. In reality, the crisis ended after the United States removed their ICBMs from Turkey, just as Major Zero explains during the briefing for the Virtuous mission in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. So, the thing with Solikov didn't happen. However, Zero's claim that the Americans were already planning to remove the nukes from Turkey anyway due to them being obsolete was indeed true in real life, as the United States had begun deploying submarines with nuclear strike capabilities.
And not robots.
And not robots.
That's a shame.
Fucking Hot Coldman.
He's got a tattoo on the back of his head if you scroll down.
Let me...
It's the campaign for nuclear disarmament symbol being held by a dragon? A wolf, maybe?
Wow, okay, hang on. Let's have a look at this. I'd like to see this.
Okay.
Um,
I'll post a photo.
Personality and traits. Oh, wow, here we go, yeah.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah,
Good.
I found it. What does the Latin translate as?
Homo homini lupus, which translates to man is a wolf. Man is a wolf to his fellow man.
There's going to be abiothic about this guy.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
Hot Coldman.
He is the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
There is another guy called David O.
Oh.
Which I found
I mean,
quite
that's
funny.
a plausible name.
Which is Zero, apparently. Yeah, whoever Zero is.
Clever.
Zero, real name David O, and formerly known as Major Zero. Zero, Major Tom, and Cypher was the original commander of CIA Special Forces Unit Fox. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Hideo Kojima, massive David Bowie fan. If that's not already clear.
It shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it absolutely shows. Apparently Force is Force Operation X.
What?
That's what Fox stands for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Makes sense, kind of.
I'm still no closer to finding out what actually happens.
Oh, no. Me neither.
Yeah, this is turning out to be one of those fandoms which, like Kingdom Hearts, is just...
It's dense. It's
Yeah.
very dense.
It's nigh on impenetrable unless you start from the very beginning and work all the way through, and you've been with it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can imagine that there will be rabid fans out there who are probably going to scream and shout at this episode. And
So obviously, why didn't you start with this? Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the point. We're trying to figure it out.
yeah, we don't know. Help us.
That's kind of the premise of these.
Okay, let's have a look at... Wow, okay. Would you like to see something Soviet-looking?
Why not?
Yeah, I'm just going to share this. Put it in general in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Shagohod, which
I
is...
beg your pardon?
Yes.
Shagahard.
Yeah, this is the Shagohod, which
Another
was...
Austin Powers villain.
Another Austin Powers villain. But yeah, this is apparently... It translates as Walker, if you say it in Russian. This is a hybrid screw-propelled vehicle designed by Sokolov to serve as a mobile nuclear ballistic missile system. So this... I just find that a cool piece of technology.
Does it look Soviet in your expert opinion?
Honestly, yeah. I can imagine the Soviet military in another timeline, like producing most of its army transport trucks and mobile weapon systems on screws rather than wheels, because you can go through rough ground, you can go over water.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool design.
So that's the Soviet alternative to a Metal Gear.
No, because the Metal Gears were Soviet, weren't they?
I think they were Soviet designed, but American made?
We're going to have to look into this, aren't we?
I don't know.
I'll go back to the... Hang on. I'll go back to the Metal Gear page. Let's have a look. Metal Gear weapon. Beam of machines...
Before you do, I kind of want to drop you in the thing I thought we'd find sooner.
Okay.
It turns out ghosts are real.
Right.
At least they seem that way. They seemed that way in the brief bits I played of the fifth one.
This has thrown me a loop a little bit.
So, while you're escaping that hospital bit I mentioned, you're chased by a man on a horse who is on fire, and this child with a gas mask that teleports around.
Okay, so basically 18th century Ghost Rider and that one evacuee kid from Doctor Who.
Yes. So I found the Wikipedia for him. This is Evgeny Borisovich Volgin, or Man on Fire.
I can see how he
The
got
bits
the
I
name.
played, it did not clarify who this was, so I was kind of curious myself.
Okay, so also known as Thunderbolt was a Soviet GRU colonel who conspired with the Brezhnev faction and the military in the 1960s to overthrow Nikita Khrushchev and seize power.
After being burned alive during Operation Snake Eater, his desire for vengeance kept him alive for many years, and through the psychic influence of Tezhek Rebanok, he awakened as the Man on Fire and set out to enact his revenge.
I'm sorry, I adore that trope. Like, man literally too angry to die.
Yeah, especially if they're on fire.
Yeah.
That's a common, cool thing. So,
Oh,
I just thought I'd mention, by the way, the supernatural also takes part in this.
oh my God! Right, let me.
There are multiple Soviet ghosts.
This, by the looks of things, yeah, he was in the Soviet secret police, the NKVD, stationed at the rear of the Red Army.
So he was in the GRU, or Glavnoy Redafino. I don't speak Russian. Main Intelligence Directorate is what it translates to.
Yeah.
Spetsnaz is a part of that. Was this a real thing?
I think the NKVD was, yeah.
Is the GRU a thing?
The GRU. 1 second. Let me have a Google, because if I just search GRU, it'll come up with the fucking minions. Yeah, the Main Intelligence Directorate. It was the Foreign Military Intelligence Agency of the General Staff of the Soviet Armed Forces until 1991. Wonder what happened.
Okay, so it is a real thing.
Yeah, wonder what happened then.
Okay.
So, yeah, here we go. So it is a real thing. Spetsnaz was like an offshoot of this.
I was just skimming through the Wikipedia on the GRU to make sure it had nothing to do with the minions.
Yeah.
During Snake's battle with Major Ocelots, both regular and Ocelot GRU soldiers surrounded Snake to ensure no one would interfere with the duel. They were later driven off after being swarmed by the Pain's bees. Turns out the Pain is a guy, also known as Hornet Soldier. At an unknown point in time, he was infected with parasites that gave him the ability to secrete pheromones to give him control over insects and receive large amounts of adrenaline in response to pain.
Oh, for God's sake.
So, there's a man that can control bees with his mind. And his name is the Pain.
Oh, this is... It's going to be one of them, isn't it? I think he started off relatively grounded as giant mechs can be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's going to get more and more ridiculous the more we look at it, I think.
Besides the Hornets, the Pain was armed with a Tommy gun and grenades and could use Hornets in conjunction with these weapons. He could protect himself from gunfire and other attacks by coating himself with a layer of Hornet's armor.
I mean, I don't think using Hornets as armor would be very protective.
The Pain also raised special Hornets called Bullet Bees inside his own body. After he removed his balaclava, the bullet bees would be released from his mouth. They moved at extraordinarily fast speeds, and upon contact with his enemies, they burrowed into their bodies and began eating their insides until they eventually died.
Fucking hell, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are all words written down. I didn't make any of this up.
I really like the next sentence of that.
Oh.
The Pain's code name signified the unbearable torment he felt while on the battlefield. No shit.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
If I was full of bees, I'd probably hurt too.
Yeah, this is it. Do you know I tell you about the person I talked to who's very, very into military history during the Cold War, particularly the Soviets?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to show her this and go, what do you think?
Oh, I'm sure she knows about Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she does, but, like, I reckon she's got opinions.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. Modus, if you're listening, I'm going to apologise for butchering any sort of Soviet law. I am but an idiot.
Got you. I just remembered there's a meme I'd seen going around about a character called Vamp, and I need to check if that's real.
Let's have a look at Vamp.
Apparently, according to this one shitpost, the law is the reason he's called Vamp. So, he's from Romania.
Okay.
He drinks blood.
I can see why he got the nickname.
And he's scared of the sunlight. He's called Vamp because he's bisexual. And you know what? No, that's on the wiki. Let me just read you this section. Born in Romania, Vamp lost his family in a church bombing in which he was pierced by a crucifix and buried underneath the rubble for 2 days. In order to survive, Vamp fed on the blood of his family until his imminent rescue, and that's how he acquired his taste for blood. According to Solid Snake, his codename is not a reference to his vampire-like behavior, but to the fact he is bisexual.
Wait, is that is that a term for bisexual people?
I think it's just that a lot of vampires are bisexual.
Right, okay.
Like if... I don't know, I should look into this.
Okay, so, do you know how the code names are chosen. I kind of want to look into that because Vamp feels like it was similar to how your call sign is chosen if you're a pilot for the US Navy.
Well, they found him at his they saw his Tinder profile being set to both men and women and were like, "Oh, we're calling you Vamp now."
We're going to call you Vamp, but not for the reason that you're thinking.
But not because of all the fact you were impaled by a cross and had to drink the blood of your family and now drink blood, and also are from Romania. No, it's because you're bisexual.
It's because you're bisexual, yeah. It's just utterly bizarre.
I have no idea why being a vampire is associated with bisexuality. I can only assume it's because they took one look at Alucard and were like, yeah, understood.
I see.
He's also got nanomachines that allow him to heal from wounds at a fast rate. So he's got vampire powers as well.
But he's called Vamp because he's bisexual.
Because he's bisexual. Yeah.
Not because of all the vampirish traits that he has.
Mm-hmm. Also dresses a bit like a vampire too.
Yeah, that's utterly bizarre, but there we go.
I'd seen that as a meme, and I've spent years not knowing if this is real or not.
Well, now you know. Like, yeah,
I know.
Every day's a school day, so...
Vamp being bisexual is a thing.
Right, okay, let's have a look at what's going on.
He can go out in the sunlight, though. There's a photo of him in daylight.
So he's not scared of the sunlight, he just... Yeah.
He's just bisexual, yeah.
He's just... For God's sake. There's a lot of I'm not gay, I'm just British vibes about that.
I guess so.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I can't find anything to explain this in the behind the scenes either.
Well, no, I can imagine.
Though if you hit Vamp with the solar gun, he will burst into flames.
Do you know if you hit, like, normal people who don't like drinking blood with the solar gun, will they also burst into flames?
Probably. I mean, I would assume a solar gun will hurt everyone, because it's a gun that shoots sunlight, is my understanding.
Yeah, it feels like it's some kind of heat ray.
The solar gun fires bolts of light. Apparently it only does stamina damage to other people.
Right, okay, so it wears you out.
It cannot deal lethal damage unless it's used against Vamp, by the looks of things.
Here we go. PE. Hang on a minute. Where is it?
You've got to scroll all the way down the list of guns.
Yeah, I'm looking for it because I want to see what this looks like. Here we go. The solar gun. It's got a bayonet. Fuck me. It's the.
Yeah.
It's this tiny, like, pistol revolver-looking alien sci-fi gun thing.
In case you need to stab someone.
Yeah, with just like
close range.
Yeah, with like a tiny bayonet underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a little bit ridiculous. Okay.
A little bit.
Well, yeah, it's a lot ridiculous, but yeah. No, I can't find the fucking thing. Yeah, I will have a look at that on my own time.
That's fair. I want to look into this team that Vamp is in, because I think that's where all the supernatural people are in.
Oh, hang on. Oh, God, okay. Sorry, I've just noticed. I scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the gun page.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, one of the things that you can obtain, there's magazines. There's the weapons magazine, you know, that takes the bullets and you attach it to the weapon and you fires the bullets through. You can also get Playboy.
Yep.
Which
can you load that into a gun?
No, it provides stress relief for men on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Useful for distracting enemies and slipping away while they're occupied. Looking at one in first-person view curiously raises Snake's psyche, and they are particularly useful for regaining psyche after vomiting. So yeah, if you're hungover, and
try pornography.
Yeah, and you've just lost your breakfast, then read a Playboy, I guess. And and there's also something called Emotion Mag, which is yet another magazine. This is a photographic magazine filled with pictures of the B&B Corps members. Soldiers who look at them...
B&B Corps?
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up, but soldiers who look at them are said to break down and lose control of their emotions.
Oh, that doesn't seem ideal.
So, by the sounds of things, you leave a sad magazine somewhere, and that, like, when the soldiers look at it, they get distracted enough so you could go and sneak up behind them and snap the necks or whatever Snake does.
What was it called? The B&B?
Yeah, B and B.
B and B.
Yes, like the and symbol.
Oh, like bed and breakfast.
Yeah, the bed and breakfast corps members. So B and B.
It's called the Beauty and the Beast unit. Beauty and the Beast unit, also known as Beauty and the Beast Corps, BB Corps, or B&B Corps, were a group of female soldiers. All 4 members were given special suits to turn them into incredible combatants.
After each had suffered from intense PTSD caused by the horrors of war. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. There's some pretty funky suits.
So, there's 2... right? So, by the sounds of things, there's 2 ways you can distract enemy soldiers. You can either leave them... Well, there's 3 ways. You can either throw a magazine, which makes a rattle.
Mm-hmm.
You can leave a porny mag somewhere. Or you can leave a sad mag somewhere.
And the sad magazine is about the Beauty and the Beast unit.
Yes, I assume it details their PTSD.
I'd imagine so. They've also got nanomachines.
It sounds like everybody's got nanomachines in this series.
So the suits of each beast resembled animals for which they were named. We have Laughing Octopus, who has 4 tentacles, making a total of 8 limbs. Raging Raven can fly. Crying Wolf was quadrupedal?
Quadrupedal, yes.
And Screaming Mantis had multiple arms. Under the mechanical suits, each member wore a form-fitting catsuit. Shocker.
Of course they did.
Yep. Right, which member am I looking at?
Either or... Oh, hang on
I think
a
I'm
minute.
going to go Screaming Mantis, because I have heard of Psycho Mantis.
Yes, I have heard 2, and I think that was on the one of the PS1 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it had this really cool thing where you had like a confrontation with Psycho Mantis, and Psycho Mantis would read your memory card.
Yes.
And sort of like poke fun at what you've been playing other than Metal Gear.
I have heard of that as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Screaming Mantis is separate from Psycho Mantis.
Right, okay.
Mantis' psyche was torn out of her own mind. Okay, so it's Psycho Mantis has transplanted his brain patterns into Screaming Mantis.
And that's why she's called...
Yeah.
Screaming Mantis.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's find out about Psycho Mantis, the member of Foxhound. He's also responsible for that man on fire, incidentally.
Right, okay. Some sort of commander.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Shadow Moses Island. He wore a special gas mask to help prevent people's thoughts.
Oh,
from
that's who I
forcing their way
saw
into his mind.
in the game I played. That was Psycho Mantis.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, it looks it. Yeah, when he confronts Venom Snake. Okay, I thought it was a child, but yeah.
Right, I see.
See, if I'd known that, maybe Metal Gear 5 would have made more sense to me.
Maybe you'll have to replay it.
Maybe I should play them from the beginning, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this is the only way we're going to make head nor tail of this. If we sort of start from the beginning and work.
Yeah.
Work
Also, he can
forwards.
fly
Of course he can.
with his psychic powers.
2 burned his entire facility down. Oh, good grief. Yeah, this is nigh on impenetrable, this. It's all just ridiculous stuff which... Oh, hang on a minute. There's somebody called... Who are the Diamond Dogs? Shock
Yes,
horror.
I'm aware of the Diamond Dog. That's your team in the 5th game.
Right,
It's a group of retired soldiers coming out to start their own country on a oil rig,
Okay.
and thus have their own private military company.
So they're doing a sea land, effectively.
Sorry, no, they're not actually doing a sea land. They're just founding a private military company out in the sea as an independent nation, as an independent group that have nuclear weapons.
Right, okay. Because I presume that doing it on the oil rig is edgier.
Because that way they're not obligated to any other government.
Oh, yeah, actually, true. International waters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why an oil rig and not a boat.
Great question.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one where you play as Venom Snake and you run a company. One bit I do remember that's quite fun. Nick, are you familiar with the Fulton extraction?
No.
It's where you attach a helium balloon to someone, they shoot up into the air and a plane grabs them.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing you can do in the game to anyone.
Okay.
If you want to recruit more people to your private military army, you can, if you take someone down non-lethally, you can use the Fulton extract to just yeet up into the air, and they'll get grabbed by a plane, and then they're yours.
Indoctrinated by the sounds of things.
You can also do the same with animals.
This feels very Just Cause.
If you want a horse, or maybe some sheep, then you can Fulton them.
How are you spelling that? I want to see if it's a real technique.
It is a real technique. It's Fulton.
Okay, let's have a look. Fulton extraction.
Yep. Fulton's surface-to-air recovery system,
The Fulton...
to use its full name.
Oh, Skyhook. I have heard of this.
Ah.
Yeah, I think I have heard of this. This is surface-to-air recovery system. Overall type harness and a self-inflating balloon with an attached lift line. So... yeah, by the looks of things, a plane just flies overhead with like a V-shaped yoke on the front of it, and it just grabs onto the line. Yeah, an aircraft trailed a grappling hook that engaged the line, which was attached to the intended cargo.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea this was the thing.
So here is a picture of it being used on a sheep in the 5th game.
Oh no.
As I say, you could just do it to anyone and anything. Just like yeet. And it's incredibly satisfying to do.
The sheep looks so fucking bewildered, but even though it's just like an in-game sprite, but yeah, it's just the...
He's about to join the Diamond Dogs.
What use would they have with a sheep?
I don't know. Maybe he's a guard.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Either way, you can just steal him. What's up?
Sorry, I just saw something which is a little bit tragic, but also a little bit funny on the Wikipedia page for the Fulton extraction system.
Mm-hmm.
After experiments with instrumented dummies, Fulton continued to experiment with live pigs, as pigs have a nervous system close to humans. Lifted off the ground, the pig began to spin as it flew through the air at 125 miles an hour. It arrived on board.
I think that's enough.
It arrived on board uninjured, but in a disorientated state. When it recovered, it attacked the crew.
Oh, that went better than I expected.
Honestly, I think that's a fair thing to do. Really, if you had no idea
I feel
what
like
the
I would
fuck
do
was
the
going
exact
on.
same.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone Fultoned me, I'd attack them on sight.
Yeah, especially if you're being hoisted into the air, spinning at 125 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the poor pig. Oh dear.
As an aside, the horse you extract is called a D-horse.
D-horse.
Short for Diamond Horse.
Diamond Horse, excellent. I'm glad to see that the imagination put into the Metal Gear names didn't end up with the horse.
Oh yeah, no, you can tell when someone's an original character because they have a silly name.
Yeah.
And that carries on to his other game, Death Stranding, which I played briefly and met a character called Die Hardman.
Die Hardman, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the... Hang on a minute, is Death Stranding basically Moon Road building simulator?
Kind of. You're a postman in post-apocalyptic America.
Right, okay.
And you're just carrying people around.
Do you think I would enjoy it?
If you enjoy long walks in scenic terrain, sure.
Yeah, to be fair, I enjoyed Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Maybe.
That was a long walk in scenic terrain.
I would put it down as a maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
Watch some gameplay, see what you think.
Yeah, I will do.
Or maybe just look at Metal Gear.
Yeah, play some of the Metal Gear games, find out what's going on.
I'm starting to realize the pattern here. It's specifically that Hideo Kojima, a Japanese man, is coming up with American names.
Ah!
Because I've just spotted Jim Houseman.
Do you know what? Yeah, there was a... Surely you've seen the baseball game.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Bobson Dugnut is one that sticks in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Sleeve McDickle, that was another quite a good one. Just names thought up from like Japanese people who have never seen an American name before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, no, to be fair, the story about that baseball one, they are all based on real baseball players. They just had to change the name slightly for legal reasons.
Ah, right, yeah. I see.
So they are actually like Sleeve McDickle is like Steve McMichael or something like that.
Yeah, I see.
Like it's based on someone real.
That's
I
kind
had that explained to me recently.
yeah, that it's kind of ruined the magic a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that it's sort of like legally distinct version of baseball players. I kind of preferred to think of it as there was just like a Japanese developer who thought, do you know
Just
what?
quick, American-sounding names.
Yeah, it's like I haven't heard many American-sounding names, but I'm just going to go on the few I have heard and just make it up.
Well,
Literally zero research and just make it up. These
I feel
sound
like
American
Hideo
to me.
Kojima is still living up to that, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Hang on. I found the page for Ghosts.
Is this like a literal ghost since ghosts are real, or...
A ghost, sometimes known as a spectre, British English, or spectre, American English, phantom, apparition, or spook, is the soul or spirit of a dead person or animal that can appear. This is a list of all the ghosts that appear in Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
It's a long-ass list.
Um,
There's some that are just Easter eggs.
that's quite nice, I feel.
A ghost of Hideo Kojima can be seen if Solid Snake takes a photograph of the second projector screen in hold number 2. Hideo Kojima, creator of the game, will just show up as a ghost.
Excellent. Here we go.
They will earn the trophy Who You Gonna Call, a reference to Ghostbusters.
Of course.
In Metal Gear Peace Walker, ghosts are actual enemies rather than Easter eggs. They're immune to all weapons, can permeate solid walls, and move by hovering a few meters above ground.
So, right, I see. Can be detected using the following equipment or method. Right, I see. Okay, so you are ghost hunting in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Yeah, so ghosts are real.
Yes, in this universe.
Mm-hmm. And in general, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Strange things happen.
Yeah, strange things happen in Metal Gear. What actually happens in Peace Walker?
Let's have a look. Here we go. So...
The Peace Walker incident happened in Colombia in 1974.
Was that the...
A series of skirmishes between the CIA and the Militaire Sans Frontières.
They've kind of stolen that as well, because there is a Medecins on Frontier, which is Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah, this is Soldiers Without Borders.
Yeah, soldiers, or Mercenaries Without Borders, or something like that. But yeah,
Army Without Borders, according to the wiki.
yeah.
That doesn't seem as useful.
No.
Or indeed as good an idea.
I was going to say, it doesn't really sound like the mercenaries either. Like, that makes it sound like they're not fighting for money, they're just fighting because they like fighting.
It's the impression I'm getting of most of these groups, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, we're not bothered about a cause or money, we're just like a scrap.
It's definitely the impression I'm getting.
Yeah.
Soldiers Without Borders provide their services to all clients, regardless of nation or ideology. I think they're just there to level the playing field. Like, if say, America invades a country with a small army, these guys show up and go, well, we're going to back these guys. They like fighting for an underdog, is the impression I've got.
They just make it harder for the big players.
Which, you know what, I can see as being kind of somewhat justified, like leveling the playing field. It's not good.
Yeah.
Ideally, no one should be invading anyone.
I think, actually, reading this, by the sounds of things, private military company, they fight for money by the sounds of things. So,
Okay, never
yeah.
mind. I was too optimistic.
I do.
I mean, it says a lot that their leader of their R&D team is named Strangelove.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's no reference to anything, is it?
Specifically, Dr. Strangelove, who is an AI research scientist.
So Strangelove exists in the Metal Gear universe.
And is a attractive lady.
Right, okay. Because of course.
Who developed the Mammal Pod AI.
What is the Mammal Pod AI?
I'm hoping it's a reference to the weird dolphin sex experiments that the CIA got up to in the 70s. But something tells me it's not. Oh, God.
The Boss AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's based on the boss.
Yeah, I see. An AI incorporated into the Peace Walker unmanned weapon created in the early 1970s.
The AI was created to fulfill the needs of an unmanned nuclear launch system that could determine suitable targets for retaliation. Yikes.
It's very on the nose that it's created.
These days,
called...
yes. That's
yeah.
Because I don't want anyone to get... I could see someone in, say, the White House right now thinking, oh, let's just let ChatGPT figure out where we should launch.
Oh, God, it's... Well, it sort of goes back to that Russian sub-captain who, because he decided to do bugger all and see what happened instead of acting on what his instruments told him, averted nuclear war.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that.
Yeah, exactly. It is absolutely the opposite of that. Like, the AI was created to do one thing and one thing only, which is pick targets for retaliation. Something is going to go wrong, and it's going to think it's being fired on when it actually isn't, and make its own, uninformed decision.
Yikes.
This is a bad idea.
On that note, I stand by my hopeful... I like to think, just as a little joke, don't take this the wrong way, I like to think all the British nukes that Trident, they're just aimed at France by default. Like, just for old time's sake, you know? Like, if you don't enter specific coordinates for retaliation, it's just like, okay, France.
Just France, yeah. And
Yep.
I reckon
And the French ones are probably aimed at us, too.
yeah, the French ones are named at us. Yeah.
Just as a default. Like, we're not going to attack each other, but it's just the default setting, you know? Just in case.
I would like to find out that the French ones, they're not aimed at targets of, like, strategic or military importance.
No, it's London.
I don't think it'd be London. I think it would be aimed at English vineyards, the Bovril factory. Like, the creators
I see your tins of baked beans and I will destroy them by default. Oh.
all the terrible British cuisine is like in the the French missile sites, which which is good and proper, but yeah.
Yeah, that'll be funny. Hopefully this doesn't happen.
No, yeah, I mean, any nuclear war on any scale is absolutely terrible, but yes.
Exactly.
If to be
right.
fair, if it did happen like that, I mean, we'd die, but at least we'd die laughing.
At least we die under the knowing that we were fulfilling the enemies to lovers that is England and France.
Yes, exactly.
I ship them.
Fucking direct hit on a Bovril factory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, let me find out other things.
Oh, God, here we go.
The AI bit does concern me, though.
Yes. The irony there, it's very on the nose that it was created by somebody called a Dr. Strangelove, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Or how I learned to stop worrying and love Metal Gear.
I should say, this group of good guys includes multiple people whose role is listed as child soldier.
This gets worse.
Yeah.
This honestly gets worse.
Chico was a child soldier in the Sandinistas Liberation Front, operating in Costa Rica in the early 90s, and eventually recruited to join Soldiers Without Borders.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the French name.
Militaire Sans Frontières.
That's the one.
I will say, sometimes it's a little bit of a blindside when you learn of a real person who is of the Metal Gear canon, because it says that...
Yeah, where you're scrolling through and suddenly you see, oh, yeah, Lenin.
Yeah, like Dr. Strangelove in this universe was educated by Professor Alan Turing.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Of course.
Under his tutelage, he obtained an appreciation for the concept of artificial intelligence. So, yeah, I see.
Because, as we know, Turing was fond of the idea of building autonomous nuclear weapons. That was something he was, like, fully on board with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not like decoding the Enigma or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Kill them all, Alan Turing, 1947. Sorry, Alan Turing, on behalf of the British.
Yeah, 100%.
You deserved so much better.
Okay, so... Yeah, that is Dr. Strangelove.
Can you guess the name of... So there's a group in America in this called the Philosophers. Can you guess the name of the guy who runs the Philosophers?
Oh, is it going to be a play on words of a famous philosopher's name?
No, it's dumber than that.
Right, okay. Is it just a famous philosopher's name?
No, it's someone called Wiseman.
Wiseman, I see.
Yep. Wiseman's Committee founded the Philosophers, who led to the American Illuminati in World War II.
Oh, good grief. He looks like Lurch.
Lurch?
Yeah, Lurch from the Addams Family.
Oh.
Sort of wide, tall, big forehead, that particular haircut.
Got you.
Yeah, the glowing eyes.
I've actually still not found a photo of Wiseman.
If you look up Wiseman, he's... Yeah, the sort of art for him is there.
Oh, I'm still on Wiseman's Committee. I was looking for...
Yeah. Wiseman was one of the key members in the Ego Project.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you see it?
Yep, Department of Defense. Of the Ego Project. What was that? Enhanced Governing Organization.
Operating system to integrate and control and operate.
Who named it Metal Gear Kaiof HaKadesh? What? It's a code name. You could have gone with something easier.
Yeah, this is it. Oh, it's
it's Hebrew. That's
it's
it.
derived from the key to a higher level in the Kabbalah,
Mm-hmm.
the mystical system
Kabbalah.
associated with Kabbalah. Sorry, I do apologise profusely.
It's
I am
okay.
a northern idiot. A mystical system associated with medieval Judaism. I see.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to call out the.
Yep.
Sometimes I think the names in the Metal Gear fandom we have discovered suffer from a lack of imagination.
Yeah.
And I'll just read this about the Ego Project. During the development stages of Metal Gear's OS, it went through at least 2 model upgrades. The first OS was called The Program.
There's got to be a better name.
The Program. You'll like this. So they did update it because it was capable of copying the human brain into a computer app. Do you know what that was called?
Go on.
The Duplicate.
The Duplicate.
To be
Of
fair,
course.
it's more imaginative than The Program 2.
2 program.
2 Pro 2 gram.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not getting any closer to understanding this.
No, me neither. Have we just wasted our listeners 1 hour and 20 minutes of our listeners' time?
Maybe. I hope not.
Again.
We should look up one more thing, because this was infamous in Metal Gear.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Quiet?
No.
Okay, I'll show you a picture of Quiet.
Right, okay, let's have a look at Quiet. Whoever Quiet
Bear
is.
with me. You need a full picture. Let me find you one. So bear in mind, it's the 80s. We're doing like Cold War era stuff.
Yes.
This is Quiet.
Okay.
As you can see, she's not wearing much.
Yeah, why is she not wearing much?
So, she appeared in the trailers, and everyone made fun of this fact. And Hideo Kojima, the creators, came out and said, "Look, once you find out why she's dressed like that, you'll understand and you'll be sympathetic. It's not just that I'm horny; it's that she has like a tragic backstory."
Wait a second.
She breathes through her skin.
No, she doesn't. Fuck off. Hang on.
Quiet wore a minimal amount of clothing at all times because she could only drink or breathe through her skin following parasite treatment due to the serious injuries she had sustained.
That's not how that works.
Yep. Yeah, it's not.
Wearing too much clothing would lead to suffocation. That isn't... They've literally just found the most bullshit reason for her not to be wearing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted to put, like, a naked lady in their game.
Yep.
Oh, for God's sake.
See, this is why, of the 2, like, legendary Japanese game developers, I'm much more of a fan of Yoko Taro. Put a bunch of sexy robots in his game, and when asked about it, just said, "I like sexy robots."
Yeah, you see, that's...
Like,
there's
both are horny on main, undeniably, but one is honest about it.
One is honest about it, and there's a kind of integrity to that, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. Like, mad props to Yoko Taro just being like, "Yeah, no, I like my sexy robots.
Yeah, it's just I wanted to...
I'll put some sexy men in it too. There, you happy?" And no one complained.
I mean, did anybody complain about Hideo Kojima putting Quiet in the game?
Probably.
Yeah, yes, fair enough.
I don't know for sure. But I need to find out about the parasite treatments as well.
Yeah, like, how did that... Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, I'm willing to bet that there are no humans out there who can breathe through their skin.
Yeah, this seems like supernatural stuff.
Yeah. Weird super science.
So the parasites were discovered by Code Talker upon researching the remains of the End after Operation Snake Eater and reviewing records of the Pain. The Pain is the one who can control the bees.
Yes. Oh, they're called the One That Covers.
Mm. So the End is is apparently one of the greatest snipers of all time. He used camouflage techniques that make him invisible, even in the most brightest exposed. Oh, so he's just really good at camouflage. That's why he's the father of all snipers. Like, he's got an outfit for every terrain. He was said to never require a spotter, but his actual spotter was his pet parrot.
This guy sounds hardcore.
He does. He's got a parrot who he is trained to spot for him as a sniper.
That's excellent.
So what's he got to do with nanomachines or viruses? After his death, Code Talker would cover his remains, discovering a parasite that gave him his abilities. What abilities? You just said it was his parrot.
Yeah. Well, unless it's like parrot tells him where the targets are, and then he uses his sort of supernatural ability to put a bullet in them from many miles away. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I'm going to leave the page on him. I'm just going to look at the parasite, the one that covers.
Yeah.
Because this just sounds like stands from JoJo, I'll be honest.
Maybe it is.
The parasites were later used to create quiet. Some hosts generate pitch black gas, which could be used to control the metallic archaea.
Apparently, the metallic archaea were an artificially modified subculture of single-celled organisms called archaea created by Code Talker. They had various abilities, mostly involving the metabolism and manipulation of metals.
Metal doesn't have a metabolism.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, sorry. Involving the metabolism, comma, and manipulation of metals. I think that's what that is.
Ah, yeah, because looking here, like they were discovered by Code Talker because he found microbes that could eat uranium.
Let's find out who Code Talker is, first of all.
Yes.
He's a Navajo biologist who specializes in parasitology, the venom snake encountered in the 80s. Modify the vocal cord parasite to be used as biological weapons by targeting languages spoken by ethnic group. Wow!
Right, hang on, I've got to see.
He was asked to create the racism virus.
Right, here we go. So how do these work? Curse of the Forked Tongue. Group of parasitic organisms that infect a victim's vocal cords.
It seems like, my understanding, is it is a virus that will kill you based on the languages you speak.
Yeah, by the looks of things, the many new discoveries made by Code Talker in his research prompted the American philosophers to use it in recreating the extinct vocal cord parasites as part of their ethnic cleanser project. But the project was abandoned after it was deemed that targeting an entire language was too inaccurate to be useful.
Skullface then intended to use the parasites to kill Cypher and transform the world in his image by completely eliminating the English language.
Oh, okay, so does it kill you because you speak it, or does it make you not speak the language anymore?
It sounds like it kills you if you speak that language.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that would work.
No, I don't.
I'm not even sure it would work, because there are a lot of languages that, from a biological vocal level, are probably quite similar.
Yeah.
Like, how can it distinguish between English and, say, French and German?
This is extremely strange.
Like, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that, say, if you grew up in, like, a Latin-based language and, say, I don't know the technical term, forgive me, like an Asian language, that there would be differences in your vocal cords based on kind of the sounds that are used fairly regularly.
Well, actually, there's basically a how-to on here.
Right.
It tells you how it works. Would you like to learn how it works?
Right.
Initially in larval form, the parasite entered through the throat and attached to the vocal cords, mimicking the host's membranes flawlessly. Upon reaching maturity, the larvae mate, triggered by sustained exposure to the specific language the parasite was attuned to. The parasites could be scientifically manipulated to target specific languages, as Skullface attempted to use them to eradicate English as language by having the parasites kill all who spoke it, as well as
you train it for words that only appear in one specific language.
Yeah, this is it, as well as various other strains of the parasite to get rid of any lingua franca that might replace English. The resulting larvae then feast on the host's lungs, killing the host. As the hosts die, they revert to a zombie-like state of dementia that violently work to ensure the parasite infects others and spreads throughout populated areas.
Hold on, why does destroying the lungs make you a zombie-like coma patient?
I don't know.
Surely it would be the brain you want to destroy. for that.
This is it, yeah. Like, the zombie-like infected only want to carry out the will of the parasite controlling them and lose their own willpower, sense of loyalty, and sanity upon their succumbing to the parasite's control.
Where are you finding this, by the way?
I looked on the page vocal cord parasite.
All right. Oh, it must be further down then.
Code Talker possessed a pipe with a herb that the parasite disliked, which when smoked would allow the host to speak for some time with their parasite deafened. So, yeah, basically smoke weed to speak freely.
Snoop Dogg was right.
Yes. What the fuck is going on here, honestly?
Yeah, this makes less sense than I expected.
Yeah, it does.
And how did this help quiet and make her breathe through her skin?
Yeah, we still haven't answered that, have we?
No.
We still have no idea whatsoever.
Let me find that. Because that was one that covers rather than the other one.
Yeah, I think the sort of vocal cord parasite was a developed version of the one that covers. I think the one that covers is the family of sort of bacteria or viruses or whatever that you can sort of train to do whatever you like with.
Yeah, Quiet's virus did expands the human lifespan to approximately 100 years. I mean, we're kind of at that already.
Yeah.
Like, we're close. Replacing and replicating the process of digestion, superhuman strength, speed, agility, and durability, near invisible camouflage by augmenting pigments of the skin, and phasing the user's tissue in and out of the visible spectrum. So that's why that guy's so good at camouflage. It's a virus parasite that makes you able to change your skin to a colour the human eye can't see.
Yeah, I see.
Which presumably means a camera could see you and probably, well, not dogs, but certainly other species.
I dropped my phone then.
I mean, dogs could smell you, to be fair.
Do you reckon that's maybe a game mechanic? Like, you've got to find out where people are using a camera?
Yeah, you probably have to detect Quiet using your radar or something.
Yeah.
Like heat vision. Also, notably, the End, the old guy, grandfather of sniping, similar virus, not wearing a bikini.
They literally just wanted to put a naked lady in, didn't
Yep,
they?
yeah, they did. The old bald man, just wearing normal clothes.
Maybe he's got enough surface area on his head.
Could be. And of course, she wasn't willing to shave her head, so she's like, fine, I'll just wear a bikini.
Do you think he's got one of those T-shirts saying, it's not a bald patch, it's a solar panel for a sex machine?
I hope so.
Because that would be quite funny. If any artists out there want to do fan art of that, you can have that one for free.
Oh, please do.
Yeah. Just send us it, won't you? You don't even have to credit us, just send us
Absolutely.
it. I'd like to see it.
And if you can explain the parasites, then I'd love to know. I'm going back to Code Talker's page just to see if we can...
Yeah.
By the sounds of it, yeah, he's a Native American who was treated shit by the American government and is on board with just destroying the English language as revenge.
Yeah, I see. And anybody who speaks it, by the sounds of things. Yeah.
I'd be curious how broad that'd be, because I spent some time in Scotland and there's some really thick accents up there that do not sound like English.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd be immune.
Yeah, this is it. I did see, there was one video of this poor Scottish lad who was trying to use the voice-activated commands in his Ford Fiesta. And it just wasn't picking up
if
accent.
the Scottish don't count for voice control, then maybe they won't count for this virus.
Yeah, maybe if there's any resistance against this, maybe it starts in Scotland. in Dundee, perhaps.
So, Skullface's plan, it doesn't necessarily wipe out the English, it just makes us all speak really thick Scottish accents.
Yeah.
That seems alright.
Yeah, I wonder if it'd work for, like, other dialects. Like, if you just went extremely Yorkshire, as in...
Alright, love.
Yeah, as in, like, the dialect which they used to speak 100 years ago, which is a lot less recognisable.
That's a good point.
Yeah, this is it.
I'm just trying to figure out why Skullface hates the English so much. Because he was there at Thingy Base.
Yeah.
Guantanamo.
Because it might not, it might surprise our listeners, or then again, it might not, sort of listening to us, but Not every English person talks like they've got a plum up their arse.
I mean, I do.
Well, yeah, you do, but you've never really had that sort of northern accent.
Also, to get the authentic podcast voice, I do shove a plum up my ass before we start.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's my secret. You should try it sometime.
I honestly, I didn't realise, but I did wonder what you were doing with like a pack of plums in your fridge. Because I know for
They just go up my ass.
yeah, I'm going to say I know for a fact that you don't eat fruit.
I like fruit. You're thinking of one of our other mutual friends that doesn't eat fruit.
Am I?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't eat fruit.
I eat fruit.
Okay, fair enough. Oh no, it's
Sorry.
vegetables. Yeah, vegetables you don't eat.
Hey, I'm getting better on the veg front, I'll have you know.
All right, vegetables you didn't.
Didn't eat. I'm getting better.
Yeah, fair enough.
Turns out carrots are okay.
Yeah, I like carrots. I like broccoli. I like peas.
No, we're not there yet.
I quite like it when they're soft. I don't really like it when they're crunchy, but like soft and covered in gravy, absolutely fantastic.
I'm not there yet.
Fair enough.
We should start wrapping up, but one thing I will note, not many waifus in Metal Gear.
No, not many.
All I've seen so far is Strangelove.
Strangelove and Quiet.
And Quiet, yeah.
Obviously Quiet.
She was so invisible to me, I just forgot about her immediately. That's how good a sniper she is.
Yes.
I just forgot.
You just forgot that the naked lady existed.
So I'd be curious about two things when we eventually get into the fix. Oh, hold on. There is, on the front page of the wiki, there is a list of female characters.
Oh, okay.
Not that we'll be seeing them. They will just be about the men.
It will, because it always is.
So if you click on female characters, and it lists alphabetically, at the top is abducted children.
Oh, for God's sake. War is hell.
There are others, but yes, war is hell.
Yeah, war is hell.
I remember Mistral from Revengeance. She was cool.
Yeah.
She was a French cyborg. Hopefully we see some of her. She's got a banging theme song.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, we'll find out another time. Nick, what has this made sense to you?
No.
Have you felt? Are you happy we looked into vaguely Cold War military stuff for your birthday?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't exactly to my taste, but what I quite like doing with like richly detailed world and world building is just sort of immersing myself in it.
Well, just going through like all the technology and stuff.
Yeah, and just seeing if you can sort of like work it out and you know figure out what was happening. It's how I approach a lot of my own reading into the topics that I like. I'll maybe read about an air battle, read about the main players, about the technology, and then I'll find something which is really interesting, then go look at that. Yeah, it sort of mirrors my own experiences with real things rather than, you know, video game universes.
No, that makes perfect sense. I'm going to continue being wanky. The Star Trek wiki, a lot of technical specifications in there.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I thoroughly enjoy just reading about the specs of all the different ships and what's faster than the other ones. So, if you ever get bored and want to look into the Star Trek wiki, I highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah, this is it. I bought a book on modern missiles carried by jet fighters. Which, well, I say modern, it was like from 40 years ago, but it's still interesting.
Relatively modern.
It's sometimes nice to not have to go looking for these things. Like you buy a book and they're all in front of you.
Incidentally, we're looking at what Rex is equipped with. Turns out railgun.
Oh, okay, I see.
A railgun that fires nuclear missiles.
Because of course it does.
Which seems overkill.
Yeah, it does. Like, as I say, if walking giant mechs were a better solution, I would have thought that our military would have invented them by now.
I mean, maybe they have.
Yeah, I know we don't know what they've got, but I'm sure you'd hear like a rhythmic thumping, which is a mech walking around in the desert away from prying eyes.
Probably.
And we haven't heard that yet. Like, if we haven't created it, certainly the Americans would have done.
Exactly.
With
well,
defense
maybe
budget.
one day.
Yeah, maybe.
I've always liked the Pacific Rim school of thought, where I mean, have you seen Pacific Rim?
No.
Oh, you should see Pacific Rim. TLDR: aliens invade with giant monsters to destroy cities, Godzilla style. Every government gets together and they decide the best way to address this is to build giant robots that will punch the monsters coming from the other side.
I see.
And at no point does anyone go, hang on, wouldn't missiles be more effective? And they're just like, nah, giant robots to fight them, because that's going to be sick as hell. And everyone's like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Sod practicality. We've just finished playing Metal Gear. We want to build some robots.
No, this is fair. Like, rule of cool goes a long way in my eyes. And, you know, like a lot of the things that I like about old military machines are just the way they look and the way they sound, effectively.
I kind of wish we did more rule of cool based things in life.
Yeah.
We definitely should.
They wouldn't be the most practical, but they would be cool.
I think that's my takeaway from this. Cool is better than being financially efficient.
Yeah, it is.
So,
I mean...
And that's why we have shit buildings, now I think about it. Like, gargoyles don't make sense, they just look cool.
This is it. Now, everything, especially from a commercial point of view, like all the people who have the money to create really amazing buildings, they don't, because they're huge international conglomerates and literally they just need space. So like a big warehouse which they'll put up out of steel beams and corrugated iron and all the rest of it, and it will have no architectural merit whatsoever because it is literally just a great white box on an industrial estate, because that's the cheapest option.
Nick, do you remember the Game Boy Advance SP Tribal?
Yes.
Where they released like a version of the Game Boy and it's got like cool, edgy tattoo bits on the front.
Yeah, I do.
And we made fun of that. People mocked it. People ridiculed it. And I think that was our mistake. We shouldn't have killed such a cool idea.
No, well, yeah.
Because now no one's willing to do cool things.
This was the thing. Like, it's okay with a bit of frippery. It's like I always point to the DeLorean. Now, the DeLorean was a pretty useless car. It wasn't powerful enough. It wasn't well built enough. And it was the incredibly flawed vision of a guy who would go to any lengths to see his vision created, including selling drugs. But, like, when you see one drive down the street, it doesn't matter that it couldn't pull a grease stick out of pig's arse. It doesn't matter that it's unreliable or it corrodes away. It looks really cool. I sort of point to that. It doesn't matter that it doesn't work. It looks brilliant.
I mean, you got to make sure you hire someone with taste when you do that, though.
Yeah.
Because the obvious counter-argument there is the Cybertruck.
Yeah, this is true. I'm not sure how different that is as a concept.
It's similar in that it's someone going, look, I don't care if it doesn't work very well, it needs to look cool. The trouble is, we put a moron in charge of that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the DeLorean is he wanted to make it work. Budget constraints meant running out of money meant he put this asthmatic V6 into it. Like, there are people out there who have...
Okay, no, that is an interesting difference then, because the Cybertruck, money was no object.
Yeah.
But they did put a moron in charge.
Yeah, this was it. Like, there are people out there who have taken out the DeLorean's engine and replaced it with something with a bit more beef, and it's transformed the car entirely. In fact, the modern DeLorean company are making electric ones.
Oh, nice.
Which I think is brilliant.
So
it's the ideal car for an electric motor.
So, to pull you back from car talk, we need more whimsy in the world.
Yes, more whimsy.
I think is what we're trying to get to here.
Yeah, exactly. More
and
whimsy.
Metal Gear Solid is imagining a world where we had a bit more whimsy.
Yeah, where we didn't necessarily go for the best solution or the most financially literate. We just did something because it looked cool.
Instead, we tried to create a virus to wipe people out based on languages. Which is completely bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. Like a lot of the Metal Gear stuff that we've looked at today, it appeals to my inner 8-year-old.
Yes, that's kind of what we're getting to. They put an 8-year-old in charge, and it's turned out damn interesting.
Yes.
I may not understand it, but I don't think I'm supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I think that's a more profound ending than previous. At least we understand some of it. We understand that it's too convoluted to understand, but just go with it and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, it's one of those don't think too hard about it moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, that'll do for now. Thanks for listening if you made it this far. Join us next time. Don't know what we're doing yet. Maybe more of this. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if Grace is back from her globetrotting adventures.
If Grace is back from touring the world, we'll probably do a proper episode. If not, I've got other ideas in the tank.
Yes.
So, yeah. We'll see you next time for whatever that may bring. Good night.
Yeah, take care. Good night.